and we're joined with a very special guest, the head coach of the men's LSU basketball team, head coach Johnny Jones. Thanks for joining us.
Morgan, appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Coach, real quick, it's the first game of the season. We're out here in the middle of all the tailgating action, and are you ready for some football or what?
Oh, it's always fun this time of year. You look forward to it. Couldn't wait. Last weekend, we're down with my family at the TCU football game, and really excited about this game this afternoon against UAB.
As you know, the entire LSU fan base is. It's always a great time when football is back in Baton Rouge. Now, sir, we're going to get to the UAB game in a little bit, but first, you're coming off your first season as LSU's head coach, and as most people know, you're not a stranger to Baton Rouge. You're from DeRidder. Is that right?
Right.
And you went to school here at LSU. You were a player on the team, and you're actually an assistant coach under Dale Brown. And so I just kind of want to ask you, how was the transition or the adjustment coming back from being a student athlete and even an assistant coach to being the main guy in town and being the head honcho of the basketball team?
Well, it's great. It's something you look forward to and you prepare your adult life to have an opportunity to take on a responsibility like that. I was blessed and fortunate enough to have an opportunity to wear a uniform and play here. Coached here for 13 years as an assistant with Coach Dale Brown. Went away, had an opportunity to prepare at some great places, University of Memphis, Alabama, University of North Texas, and very blessed to be here with this basketball team, with this fan base in this tremendous city at this great university.
And Coach, in your first year, people would say you exceeded expectations. The team showed a lot of promise, and everyone's getting excited, for the years to come under the Johnny Jones era, if we'll go there. But personally speaking, the team finished 19-12 overall with a 99 SEC record. Now, for you in your first year, as a whole, personally speaking, was last year a success?
Well, I based it on the way that our kids played, the type of effort that they gave night in and night out, where our crowd started at from our first game to our last game when we played Ole Miss, having over 10,000 in the arena. And because of that, I judge it as a success because I thought our kids bought in. I thought they played exceptionally hard night in and night out, and I thought they gave a great deal of effort. And with that being said, yes, I think our fans bought in, so we had a successful year.
And speaking of the fans, you mentioned the 10,000 strong last year in a couple games. As old LSU fans learned to call the PMAC the Death Dome, are you thinking those days are coming back? Do you think we can start calling the PMAC the Death Dome again? Are you excited about that? Or what?
Well, our job is to make sure that we continue to build our fan base. We've got to continue going out, getting our students that are here on campus, getting the fans here in Baton Rouge to make sure they come to the game. But it's important that we put the right type of product on the floor to allow that to happen. We feel great about it, and we look forward to the PMAC being that Death Dome soon.
I think everyone is. And a big reason to the success of last year was the star power forward, Johnny O'Brien. Everyone knows and loves him. And actually, there was a little bit of a question at the end of last year. Was he going to go to the NBA? Was he going to give it a shot? Was he going to try it? And as we all know, he eventually decided to come back. And I know you were, talking to him a lot for that decision. But were you sweating? Were you kind of worried about it for a little bit there? Or did you always kind of figure he was coming back?
Well, you want what's best for the young men in your program, and if it's for them to be successful, have an opportunity to go out and have a productive life for their family, you're able to do that. We're excited that he chose to come back. We think that's a sign of something good for the basketball team program that he brought in, and now we've had an opportunity to do a great job with the recruiting base that we feel that will have an opportunity to complement him as well.
Okay, and last basketball question before we get to the football talk. The recruiting class, that was the story of the offseason. Top 10 recruiting class according to most experts. How do you feel about that, and how are you going to get them acclimated to the LSU culture next year?
I thought we did a great job of going out, not only taking care of some wants, but really the needs. I thought the guys we brought into the program, we definitely needed them in each position. I think they're tremendous players. I think our fans are really going to be excited about the level of play that these guys have an opportunity to excel at.
And I wish you good luck on the year, and we hope we can get a repeat of last year or even more.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Now moving on to the reason we're here, UAB game, first game at Tiger Stadium tonight. But let's focus a little bit on last week's game. You mentioned you watched the game. What was your biggest takeaway from the TCU game, and what do you kind of think the LSU Tigers have in store for this season on the football field?
Well, having an opportunity to be amongst a crowd like that and watching them tailgating, taking over really that stadium there in Arlington, and looking at the way that our receivers played in that type of environment, and the quarterback was hot just like it was really in the Alabama game, and really hitting on all points, and the defense was great and showed some tremendous signs. So I'm just looking really for that growth tonight from that last game, and having an opportunity to play a UAB team that's maybe not ranked, to see if our guys are playing at that same level of intensity that you need in games like this early.
And as a head coach, it translates from basketball to football. You want your players to be up for every game, no matter the opponent, and kind of repeat the success from prior weeks?
Well, absolutely. I think it's about execution and continuing to build. And that the Coach Miles has done a tremendous job in preparation with this football team and for this season. So it's something we look forward to.
Okay, and you mentioned Zach Bettenberger. His coming out party was Alabama last year, and he showed what he can do last week. But besides him, were there any players that stood out to you just as a fan that you watched and were like, wow, that guy's
I
gonna be
thought
something?
the receivers, I thought they had done a tremendous job. I thought the offensive line did an incredible job in terms of protecting Zach. And at the same time, I thought defensively we made some big plays. I thought those guys did a tremendous job. And I thought our defensive back showed up, did a great job of shutting down the receivers. So I think as a whole, the team played extremely well. And I think that's what you need when you're looking to get to the level where these guys are trying to go.
Oh, exactly. And they've mentioned they're going to throw a lot of the younger guys into the fire tonight against UAB. I don't know if you're aware of, Tre'Davious White, cornerback, freshman. Everyone's talking about him and what he can bring to the field. But you mentioned the players you did see and that you liked. Are there any players that you're looking forward to this week that you want to see more out of, or you're kind of excited to watch?
Well, I'm excited about the team because I thought they played a lot of new guys last year. A lot of guys had their first opportunities last year. Obviously, we had a running back that sit out last game, and I'm sure they're looking to get him back in the fray so he can get his wheels back under him and see the type of impact that he can make on this football team as well. But I think you've got a well-built football team, and we're looking to make sure that we're hitting on all cylinders.
Okay, and Les Miles, we kind of touched on it, getting the players to, no matter what the competition is, to kind of have that same intensity every week. And we go into this game, UAB, they're a heavy underdog. But if you were Les Miles, if you were the head coach of the football team rather than the basketball team, what would be your focus as a coach, and what would be the message you try to preach to your players tonight?
I think his guys understand they've got to play every second, every play. It's not about that opponent across the line from them. It's about the guys that were in that locker room, and it's about improving each play and making sure that they build and getting ready for their next game, whoever their next opponent is, and it doesn't matter. It's just those people that are lined up across from that they've got to dominate every second, every play.
Okay, exactly. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. You're not only an expert in basketball, but it sounds like you can hold your own in football.
Well, I love football. I'm a big football fan, so if that's part of it, we can handle that part.
Oh, yeah, growing up in Louisiana, being a student here, how can you not love the football team? But before we let you get out of here, Coach, I know you're a busy man. We want to get your pick. We want to put it on record.
Okay.
So we can either make fun of you later or we can, praise you.
Gotcha.
But do you have a score for the UAB game tonight?
No, I just certainly don't have a score, but I can just tell you the team that I'll be in there cheering for and the one that I think they'll definitely come out on top, and I think it'll be those Tigers.
Okay. All the fans right here, are hoping to see the same thing you just said. But Johnny, appreciate it, Coach. Really thank you for taking time out of your schedule, and hopefully we'll see you soon later this year.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you having me on.
And good luck for your basketball team.
Thanks, Morgan.